and Facebook. So hello, Kendra. You
Everyone.
need a request to, I'm going to add, okay. I guess add as moderator. I don't know. Are you on the live now on Instagram? There we go. All right. Trying to figure out this whole thing. Here we are. Okay.
I should be.
Yes, I think you're on now. I don't know. Yeah, are you? Okay. No.
I can't see myself on Instagram. I feel like I should be able to see myself.
I keep hitting accept. So let's see if that works. Hello, Instagram world. Hello, YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else. If we cannot get you on Instagram, we will have to, I don't know, maybe just send everybody over to Facebook or YouTube. So I'm trying to go live with my friend Kendra Courtney, who is a Dubsado specialist. And today we are talking about onboarding and client management for bookkeeping clients. We have been collaborating for a number of years, I guess, at this point.
Yes, I think
yeah, it looks like you're unable to join, but yeah, I don't know what's going on Instagram. Okay, so Instagram world. Oh, you're there. Yay. Okay.
Working.
Feedback.
So I can see myself on the live now. So
okay, cool. You're having a little bit of feedback, so mute one of your speakers.
It's muted on Instagram.
There we go.
Oh no.
We'll get this figured out. It's very challenging to go live on multiple platforms, by the way.
Okay. Now.
All right.
Are we good?
No. I still hear a bunch of feedback.
I only have my laptop speakers on. So
interesting.
I can hear your feedback.
If I mute myself, no, it's coming from your computer speakers.
That's strange.
All right. We may have to ditch the Instagram live. So it's very challenging. So we're going to go, if you can go look at us, follow us on YouTube or Facebook on the Ambitious Bookkeeper page, you will catch the whole live. So hopefully we'll see you there. Okay.
I'm not sure what happened there.
I did not anticipate that happening. I kind of forgot. Like, we should have probably had headphones on. I muted my computer speakers. So let me unmute you over there so I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay, I have no idea what happened there because my phone volume was completely off and only my laptop was on. So
yeah, I muted my laptop and then my feedback stopped, but I could still hear myself echoing on
you did it the other way around. Okay.
The phone. Okay, so anyway, thank you for everyone who is joining us on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry for that painful experience on Instagram if you came from over there. Today we are talking about onboarding clients with ease, using a system that I love dearly called Dubsado. And I want to introduce Kendra. In case you don't know her, I feel like if you're in my world, you probably do by now. She's helped numerous bookkeepers set up their Dubsado with, you know, all the kind of the things that we've kind of put together over the years. And she's helped me revamp mine and all these things. So welcome, Kendra. How are you today? Awesome. So if you guys have questions regarding client experience, onboarding, all that kind of stuff, please drop them in the comments. We will answer them today. But I just want to briefly kind of go over how Kendra and I met. We met in the beginning of, I don't know, I guess it was the beginning of 2020. It was right around when the time I started the Ambitious Bookkeeper brand, very low key of just kind of like helping people in Facebook groups. And I had discovered Dubsado to use for my proposal and engagement letter software because it was much more affordable than the softwares that are built for accountants. And since I started my business kind of like as a side hustle to motherhood, I wouldn't say I was like trying to cut corners, but I was trying to find the best, most affordable option. But I also loved the customizability of, is that a word? The customizability of Dubsado. We're going to make it a word because I just said it. Because I wanted to be able to stand apart from the typical accountant, just boilerplate proposals that were just kind of boring. I wanted to add color and photos, and I wanted to be able to attract creative entrepreneurs because that's who I wanted to work with. So I was like, what better software to use than Dubsado, which is actually built for creative businesses, and just make it work for accounting. And so I had discovered Dubsado and then probably discovered you through a hashtag or something.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure,
Awesome
honestly, how we connected. And but I think that was it. It was probably like a Dubsado hashtag or virtual assistant hashtag or something like that. And yeah, we just we connected from there. I started building out my courses and talking about Dubsado, and there's pieces of it that I didn't use and still don't use, but I wanted to be able to cover that in the course. So I approached you about providing a bonus or like a section of the course. And we've just stayed connected ever since. And I send lots of bookkeepers over to you to get the full on setup done. And it's worked out wonderfully. So do you have anything to add to that about our story?
Yeah, it was definitely 2020. And yeah, you approached me to do the lead part of Dubsado, like the lead nurturing and the onboarding part of your course. And yeah, like you said, since then, I've worked with so many of your students, which has been amazing. I think I've worked with between 10 to 15 at this point. So lots of experience with your students, and it's been amazing to collab with you in this way. But yeah, I think that is pretty much how we met.
Yeah. It's been great. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today that I really struggled with at the beginning of my business and kind of working out the details. And I noticed a lot of other bookkeepers struggling with this. And that is actually what inspired creating the Ambitious Bookkeeper brand, was the whole onboarding piece of bringing on clients. If you're watching live, drop a me in the comments if you have or still struggle with the idea of like the effort involved with onboarding a new client, like sending the proposal, getting that all together, figuring out what package and price you're going to offer, and getting their engagement letter signed, and that whole back and forth. Like, say me in the comments. Yeah, we have a couple for sure. And so that's where this whole live kind of comes in, is to help you through that. So drop also in the comments the main piece that you're struggling with. I would love to know. For me, when I started out, it was just the whole like anxiety around like the time it took to put together proposals, customize things, get the engagement letter signed, make sure they paid up front, and then all the back and forth of collecting documents and things like that. But what was really going on was I was actually reinventing the wheel every single time with every new client. And that's why it was so stressful. We got lots of me's in the comments.
Just coming in.
Yeah. So that's where systems come into place, right?
Yes.
So Kendra, do you want to take the reins from here for a second?
Yeah, totally. And you touched on this a little bit about just not having enough time to do everything that you need to do for your client admin. And like, just why you need systems is because you could use your time so much better than, just putting proposals together. And I think we don't realize how long it takes. Like, we think, okay, we've got maybe like 1 or 2 leads a week, and you sit down and like 5 minutes becomes 30 minutes so quickly when you don't have a template to work from. Or if doing it for the first time and it's just like you don't even know what to include in that proposal and engagement letter in the first place. So you're just spending so much time, like you said, reinventing the wheel. And yeah, you just want to rather be working with your clients, rather than doing all the admin around that. So systems can take a lot of that manual admin away, or even just having like something that if you want to do it manually, have like a framework to work from every single time. So that's why I love systems, because it just saves you so much time. And secondly, it just gives your clients a much better experience of your business. Like, for example, if you're having a really bad day and you need to send your client something, you have to go and you have to type that email from scratch, whereas a system could do it. And, you can just have like consistent energy for that client every time, because like, let's be honest, we get tired, but the system doesn't. So, just having a consistent process every time, it like retains clients better. You get more referrals from other people. And yeah, you as a business owner, you just have a better time. So I love systems because it's a better experience for you and your clients. It's just good all around.
Absolutely. So some of the comments that are coming in, too much stuff coming up from too many different places for the client. I want it to be super simple for them and me. Doing custom quotes each time, because everyone seems to have very different pain points. So even with a system, you can still set up efficiencies so that when you are sitting down to spend time on this, you're only spending time on customizing the quote. Everything else is pretty consistent, right? Reinventing the wheel and making it easy to set up the platform. Yeah, these are all huge pain points that we can experience for sure. So you mentioned giving clients a better experience every time. So can you kind of dive into like what you're talking about when it comes to that? Like give us an example of like something that can be consistent across multiple custom proposals. Like what are the pieces that would make it a consistent experience?
Sure. So like when it comes to Dubsado specifically, which is obviously what I specialize in, you have workflows. And workflows cover everything from like the inquiry part of the process, so when the lead first reaches out to you, and then all the way to if they ever disengage with you. So everything from that to, offboarding, you can have specific steps that happen at specific times. So for example, if you are custom quoting, you could have a workflow that adds the proposal form to the project. So what that would look like is you would create the workflow ahead of time during your setup process. When you have that client, you would go and just add the workflow, which is why I love Dubsado, because you can choose which workflow is applied at which time. So you can go and apply a workflow, and in that workflow have a form added. And you can go in, and that form has all the pieces already. It's got your like about section. It's got, your like the next steps, all of those things. And in a little like package block, you can have a set package that has like a starting at price. And you can literally just go and edit that package, because that package, the base package, is in the system already. And when that copy of that form, that proposal form, is added, you just literally go and edit it and send it off to the client. So that's one example of where you're working from a template and just, not reinventing the wheel. You're just editing what's there for that particular client. And then when it comes to, the onboarding part, like getting the intake forms, there are so many different pieces to that. So just having a form that guides the client through every part of that, and then, maybe throwing in some reminders for them if they haven't filled out the form on time. That is a great way of how you can just have a system working for you behind the scenes.
Yeah. So for example, if you want to like understand more tangibly, for us, we have 2 separate intake type forms based on if a client is a fresh start, like we're just setting them up brand new on zero, or if the client is coming over from QuickBooks, their intake form looks different. And really, like, the only difference is like the intake form for the QuickBooks client is, please add us to your QuickBooks, follow these steps. Whereas the Xero one is like a brand new thing, right? So it can be as simple as that, but each of those like variations are where you want to start thinking about, like, okay, I always have these 3 types of onboarding experiences. So those are 3 different workflows. So what would you suggest that kind of gets into like one of the other questions is the easiest way to get started with creating a stellar onboarding system?
Sure. So the first step, and this seems like super basic, but you just need to know what your services are. So a lot of the times when I'm starting a setup and I ask my client, for example, what are your services? Then, I normally get like the super broad, oh, I do bookkeeping services. But what specifically? So like, do you do monthly bookkeeping? Do you do like software setups? Do you do cleanups, catch-ups, diagnostics? There's so many services, as you all know, that you can offer as a bookkeeper. So just sitting down and mapping out which services do you have, who do you work with? What is that description? What is the price? Is there a payment plan? All of these things influence what your workflows look like.
Yeah.
And then once you have like decided on just what you are offering, then you need to think through, what is the path through all of those services? Is, for example, a diagnostic, like an entryway to get into your services, and then you offer a monthly bookkeeping once you have an idea of, the kind of bookkeeping that they will need every month or every quarter, for example. So what services you have and all of the details of how you offer that service will influence your workflows, because your workflows are there to support all of your services as you're working with clients. So map out your services first, then look at every single step. Like you can even start from, them reaching out to you for a diagnostic. Then once that is done, what's next? That can literally just be on a piece of paper, or if you prefer digital, you can make a mind map of that or a flow chart. And even think of it, before you introduce a tool. It can literally just be, I want somebody to enter my business and do this first. Then I want them to do that. Go completely basic first, and then start thinking about how you can automate or use a system, because everything like Dubsado is just a tool. It just has to support what you already give it. So that is the one thing. Do you want to say something before I go into the next thing, Serena?
Nope. Nope. I'll wait to ask the question at the end.
Perfect. And then the second thing that I always say to have ready before you like start looking at systems, would be your branding. And I know that is a very random thing when you're thinking of, systems and workflows, but something like Dubsado, and Serena, you said that earlier, it's so customizable. You want to have at least like a basic logo that you can put onto all of your forms and your emails. So when your clients get that communication from you, they instantly recognize, okay, it's from you. This is your business. And I'm not necessarily meaning, have like an amazing, custom website made for your business. Just start with your logo, maybe have some headshots done, have some like stock photos that you have, so you can put those in your form. So when you're sending it out to your clients, they have a really awesome experience with you. They know it's your stuff. So those are the 2 things that I would have. And then once you have that, you want to look at your services again and then map out the entire journey that you want your clients to go through. And like I spoke about earlier, it starts at inquiry and goes all the way to disengagement. So literally think about, how do you want your clients to reach out to you? Is it going to be on your website? Is it going to be through Instagram? Is it going to be through a phone call, or all of the above? You can make systems for all of those because they will be slightly different. Do you want them to book a call with you? How do they get in contact with you? And then you go through to booking, sending proposals, engagement letters. What's the process there? Once they are clients and officially, made their first payment, how are you going to get all the information from them? You don't want to send them like 10 emails to get, separate things from them. No, you want to send them one form to get all the information, maybe a kickoff call, onboarding call to go through that information. Then you're going to be working with them, maybe getting some feedback from them as you go. And then if they ever disengage, what are your policies, for keeping documents and things like that. So those are all things that you have to think about. In a very broad sense in getting started with systems.
Yeah. So one of the questions in the chat was which version of Dubsado is required. And so I pulled up the two different plans that they have. There's the start. Go ahead.
One.
What was that?
The two plans it's relatively new. Before they just had one plan, but now you can have the starter plan or the premier plan. I would always recommend the premier plan. Same. Just because of the workflows, the automations with that. Mm-hmm. Like you can always use Dubsado for like invoicing and things like that, but the real magic is in the workflows. You set up those so it can run for you.
Yeah. And what also is included in the Premier plan are Zapier integration. So that's one of the things that I use for sure. And project source tracking. So in my lead capture form, I have, and you can have multiple lead capture forms too. So that's the other thing. I have a section where they can say where they heard from us, so we can track where people are coming from, which is very important as you start to ramp up marketing efforts and figuring out like, where are all of our good clients coming from? And then Zapier helps me get the information that people are entering on their own in our lead capture, feeds that information over to the bookkeeping software I use, which is Xero. And also we use Zapier to trigger our Asana project creation once someone finishes the onboarding process in Dubsado. And so we have lots of automations going on so that we're not duplicating efforts and entering information. So if that's the type of automation you want, definitely go with the Premier plan. So if you are at the point where like maybe you've purchased Dubsado and you're trying to implement it and you're ready to like set up all these things and understand how Dubsado really works for you, we have something really special coming out. Do you want to talk about it, Kendra?
Yes, I'm very excited to speak about this because we have been wanting to launch this for a while. It's called Dubsado Decoded, a bookkeeper's guide to client management, and it is a full course on how to set up Dubsado to manage your clients for your bookkeeping business. And yeah, it's going to be like everything you need, the templates, so canned emails, form templates. And then I'm going to be literally setting it up on a video for you step by step, using the templates, like seeing where you can see where it goes in Dubsado, and you will see everything come together. And you can just basically replicate everything for your system. And from there, you can use it with your clients. So it's almost like a setup in a box. We're giving it all to you with my guidance, with videos, so you can see how it works. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Yeah, do you want to add anything, Serena, to that? Obviously, there are details, but when it comes out.
Yeah, so in August, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure you're on either my email list or Kendra's and following us on social so that you get the alerts when it comes out. If you're already on my email list, you will be getting emails about it. We are also, this is very specific to bookkeeping. So there's options for, there's going to be a couple tiers of the program based on like how many services and workflows you want to be able to set up. And we're giving you templates as well. So it's like, basically, we've collaborated together to fine tune over the years. This is over multiple years of working together and fine tuning, like what do bookkeepers really need in their setup? What are the templates that would make it like a no-brainer, like the email templates, the workflow templates, just like the specific language and jargon around bookkeeping. That's all going to be included. So this is like a very specific program for bookkeepers and accountants.
Yes, and I can speak about the two tiers if you want me to as well.
Go for it.
So the first tier is the full course. And by the full course, we mean how to set up like your monthly bookkeeping in your business, if you offer that. And then it's every service we could think of that the bookkeepers offer pretty much. So like I mentioned before, accounting software setups, diagnostics, cleanups, catch-ups, and things like that. I'm going to be showing you how to set up all of those services in the first tier. But then the second tier is, I think I may have mixed those up, but one tier is that, and another tier is just the monthly bookkeeping. So if you're just getting started and you don't have all of those other like almost smaller services in your business, you can just get started with the monthly bookkeeping processes, templates, and all of those things. And then you can add on the other services as you need them, and those will be available to just add on when you want to offer those to your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been a long time coming. A lot of you have probably seen my mini course Onboarding on Autopilot. It is now retired because it is outdated. Dubsado has made a lot of changes since I published that course. And it just makes sense to just point everything to this new program. So if you try to go purchase Onboarding on Autopilot at this point, you shouldn't be able to. Hopefully we got those all closed down. But if you do on accident, just contact me for a refund, and then I will give you the link for the new program, because it is going to be more encompassing. It's going over more in depth on all the new features of Dubsado, basically. All the features that even I don't use the scheduler in there, but that will be covered. I don't even know what else is in there that is new, but the form builder is definitely new, right? So
templates just add to your account. So there'll definitely be a proposal template as one of the templates that we give you. We're also going to give you an intake form template, feedback form, website form, things like that. And they will have like some design in it as well. So you can just like add your own branding and things like that to it. So you'll have a head start on everything. We mean everything.
Yeah. So Dawn asked, would this work with restarting? Dawn, do you mean like doing a fresh start of your Dubsado, like just creating a new account and starting over? If so, yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for someone trying to clean up their Dubsado?
So it's a bit tricky because it depends how much you're using it and how much of the content you're using, because obviously Dubsado is made of all these templates. So I would definitely go through maybe your process first. It's always the process that you have to go through, like how you want to work with your clients, and see if any workflows that you have set up is still working and how you truly work with your clients. Because there's nothing worse than having, how you actually want to work with your clients and outdated workflows that you're having to constantly tweak per client. You want to like make those updates as you go. So I would definitely see if those are still working for you, and then go and tweak that. And by looking at that, you will see, which templates aren't working anymore. You can see which canned emails you need to update, which forms you need to update, and things like that. And then, just delete anything that you're not using and update everything. So, always look at your process first, because all of the templates will come off that.
Yes,
so.
Absolutely. Well, we have a couple minutes left before we're at time. I like to always be mindful of schedules. Kendra and I only had this scheduled for 30 minutes, so you guys are off the hook after a couple of minutes. But if you have any final lingering questions, drop them in the chat. If you're watching the replay, also drop them in the chat. We will try to monitor them and come back to it. You will be able to sign up on either one of our wait lists in our bios or on our websites. So that way, whoever you prefers waitlist to be on, you can do that. Or if Kendra, if you want, you drop yours in the chat and I will too. That might make it a little easier for people. So we both have like little landing pages so that you get alerted when things go live. So yeah, thank you all so much for showing up to our little live here. We're super excited to bring this to you. It's been a long time coming. I've been promising a revamp of my mini course for a long time, and it just honestly made sense to work with Kendra because she truly is an expert in it. She set up so many of our bookkeepers' whole Dubsado setups, including mine. I had her like redo my whole proposal and workflows and everything. And while I know how to use the system, I am not the expert. And so it just made sense to do a collaboration. If you want to go far, go together or something.
Yes, totally.
I always botch the quote. Yeah. So Alrighty. Thank you all so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yes, thanks everyone.